Although the jaguar is smaller than the lion and the tiger, the spotted panther surpasses them in bite force. Just look how the jaguar hunts a huge anaconda. The snake tries to bite, but the lightning-fast reaction speed helps the cat avoid damage. With a couple of bites, the jaguar simply breaks the spine of one of the strongest and most muscular snakes on the planet. Today we'll show you other cases that demonstrate just how cool these panthers really are. Among the thickets, a shadow flickers. As if out of nowhere appears the mighty and brave jaguar. It walks along the riverbank in search of prey and scans for game. But nearby, there's only a large cayman, which is larger than the jaguar and is in the water, the most convenient environment for it. Any other terrestrial predator would have backed off to avoid encountering a dangerous competitor. But the fearlessness of the jaguar looks simply incredible. This cat knows how to be cautious, but at the right moment, it's ready to risk everything for victory over its opponent. The alligator is shocked when the panther jumps straight into the water at it. There's hardly another cat that would dare to attack the toothy reptile first, let alone in its territory, that is, in the water. But for the jaguar, this is not a problem. It can track black caimans and alligators and then attack them when it deems necessary. Why wait for the reptile to emerge from the water when you can just jump on its head, deliver a terrible blow, and even take a swim? The jaguar's stunning blow was incredibly powerful. The panther put all its weight into the pounce, acting with lightning speed and frightening force. The jaguar crashed onto the huge reptile, raising waves and splashes, delivering terrible blows with its clawed paws. But the spotted panther is not going to prolong the fight. The enemy is stunned but alive and can fight back. The reptile fights desperately, using its entire body. It tries to employ its powerful jaws and incredibly strong tail, but the jaguar crushes the enemy's resistance with a devastatingly strong bite. The cat grabs the reptile by the upper part of the skull and neck, where the scales are the thickest and strongest. However, the armor doesn't hold, and the reptile is paralyzed from the pain and the grip's strength. The cayman didn't know who it was dealing with, otherwise it wouldn't have dared to swim in its territory. Its resistance was crushed into mere seconds. And then the jaguar emerges from the water, gripping the cayman in its teeth. The reptile's head is larger than the panther's skull, but the jaguar is so strong that it carries such a burden up the steep bank without visible effort. But that's not all. The cayman wriggles. It is still alive. The reptile tries to fight and escape the jaguar's grip, taking advantage of the fact that the cat's paws are busy climbing the almost sheer bank. However, the jaguar's jaws securely hold the opponent. Its fangs crush the cayman and prevent it from effectively resisting. For the reptile, the jaguar's grip is insurmountable. When the panther reaches a convenient spot on dry land, it will easily finish off the already wounded and weakened opponent. The jaguar's dominance over such a dangerous enemy looked cinematic and cool, pretty much, didn't it? You've got to agree that the panther's fighting qualities deserve your like. If you think that the brutal and lightning-fast attacks of jaguars on huge reptiles are rare feats of the largest and most experienced panthers, you're mistaken. For the daringly brave jaguar, this is a favorite tactic. To dive straight into the water and catch an alligator larger than itself? No problem. Dive to the alligator and engage in an impressive fight with it in shallow water? No big deal. Even young females, far from reaching their maximum size and weight, hunt huge reptiles. They overcome the enemy with skill and speed. Such impressive battles inspire genuine admiration and respect for the jaguar. The opponents are entangled in the muddy water. From time to time, either the jaguar's tail or its paw appears from there. It twists and turns, and it seems like the reptile has grabbed the enemy and started spinning with it in its jaws. A little more, and either it will tear apart the jaguar or it will drown it. But after some time, it's the panther that emerges from the water alive and practically unharmed. The reptile encountered the opponent that can't be drowned so easily. Amazing agility, reaction speed, and colossal strength allowed the panther to overcome even such a dangerous enemy. It uses all its skill and arsenal to fight the cayman or alligator right in the water. The jaguar delivers stunning blows with its paws, grabs and holds the prey with its claws, engages its fangs, all this while trying to maintain balance, not allowing the reptile to drown it or grab it in return. The anaconda is one of the most dangerous predators on the planet. Sometimes they successfully defeat jaguars, for example by drowning young individuals and cubs and then devouring them. This is a very dangerous opponent, which is one of the top predators in its habitat. But here, the anaconda made a fatal mistake when it tangled with a seasoned and experienced spotted predator. The black jaguar noticed the giant anaconda, which was roughly 3 times longer than the cat. This species of reptiles is striking not only for its length, but also for its power. And the anaconda may be shorter than some pythons, but it surpasses any snake on the planet in terms of length to mass ratio and muscle power. Such a snake is a powerhouse. It doesn't just suffocate, it coils around its prey and squeezes them with such terrifying force that it crushes bones and crushes internal organs, much like squeezing a tomato in your fist. Moreover, when the anaconda tightens its dreadful embrace, it sharply increases blood pressure, effectively cutting off blood flow to the vessels. Resisting it is incredibly difficult. But the jaguar boldly attacks even such an opponent. It has an important motivation here. This snake slithered too close to the panther's den. There, the black male awaits the female and cubs, which must be protected from this terrible threat at any cost. Therefore, the brave father of the family rushes into battle and attacks the legless beast. The jaguar grabs the anaconda by the tail and drags it as far away from the den as possible. The active and fierce snake tries to counterattack. The jaguar is forced to move to an area where the snake will have the advantage. The battle shifts to the shallow of the muddy river. The water supports the weight of the snake, significantly increasing its maneuverability and concealing part of the anaconda's body, making its lunges and grabs unexpected and sudden. But the jaguar intentionally moves the battlefield here, just to keep it away from the cubs. Such dedication to family commands respect, doesn't it? Jaguars, like most cats, lead a solitary lifestyle, but during mating periods, they show tender care for their offspring. The giant anaconda is capable of crushing and swallowing an adult alligator whole, but in water, its crushing power only increases, as it's easier for the snake to wrap around its prey. But the jaguar couldn't care less about these difficulties. The huge cat leaps straight into the water and grabs the anaconda with its jaws, delivering quick and dangerous strikes with its clawed paws. It acts brutally, but doesn't forget about caution. The snake desperately resists and strains every muscle in its huge, long body. Its length is almost like that of a minibus, and it's impossible to keep track of it in the murky water. Therefore, the jaguar doesn't even attempt to do so. It employs a different tactic. The powerful and stunning force of its super strong jaws forces the snake to focus on defense. It tries to coil around the jaguar's head, reach its neck, and drown it. But the reptile didn't understand who it was dealing with here. The agile and nimble cat leaps out of the deadly grip, continuing to press on the enemy. The grip of the black panther is so strong that the snake, which suffocates deer weighing quarter of a ton, cannot move at all. At the same time, the jaguar instantly reacts to every move of the snake, trying to assess its every movement, constantly monitoring the reptile's maneuvers both visually and tactically, not allowing the anaconda to approach it underwater. Fighting the anaconda, the jaguar tears open its skin, inflicts ragged wounds, and most importantly, stretches the snake. The clever cat relies on its impressive strength, but combines it with the ability to analyze the enemy's tactics. The panther understands that the anaconda must coil up for a strike, so it needs to stretch it out. As a result, the male defeats the fearsome enemy, inflicting numerous wounds. The female approaches the snake with curiosity and grabs it. The enemy, which could have wiped out their offspring, becomes a hearty meal for the feline family. There are so-called black panthers among the jaguar ranks. This is not a separate species or even a subspecies of jaguars, but simply individuals with an increased content of melanin. As a result, the fur of such jaguars is much darker than that of their ordinary relatives. The term panther refers to the entire genus of large cats. This genus includes tigers, lions, jaguars, leopards, and snow leopards, although the classification of the latter remains a subject of debate amongst scientists. All panthers are united not only by their size, but also by the characteristics of their skull structure and behavior. For example, cheetahs are taller at the withers than leopards, and large male pumas can be more massive than female jaguars. But both cheetahs and pumas are classified as small cats. However, the jaguar is the third largest and strongest panther, second only to lions and tigers. In nature, you can encounter both black leopards and black jaguars. Neither in terms of habits and behavior, nor in terms of body structure and size do black panthers differ from other representatives of their species. They are distinguished only by their color, just a minor mutation. If jaguars are the only modern American panthers and leopards live in Africa and Asia, then it turns out that the black panthers are found on 4 continents. But these animals can be representatives of different species. Pretty funny, isn't it? By the way, although it may seem that jaguars and leopards have the same coloration, they are pretty difficult to mix up. The jaguar is much larger and bulkier, its head is more powerful, and overall, its body seems almost pumped up. The leopard has well-defined musculature, but it's still not as impressive as the jaguars. Additionally, they have different coloration. Both have spots shaped like sockets, but in leopards, they are smaller and always empty inside. Inside the larger sockets of the jaguar, individual small spots are very often found. Moreover, the level of melanin can also vary depending on the specific individual of the black panther. There are cats with very dark skin, which appears almost black with barely noticeable spots. There are also rather dark brown and tan individuals that have black spots more noticeable on their skin. The specific coloration neither gives black jaguars any advantages nor poses difficulties. They, like ordinary representatives of their species, are incredibly adept at camouflage, set up ambushes perfectly, and sneak up on prey that doesn't see the predator until it's too late. Therefore, regardless of the color of their fur, jaguars have roughly equal chances of survival and success in hunting. Black jaguars form pairs with regular ones and produce healthy offspring. Yes, there are fewer black individuals, but only because the gene responsible for this mutation is recessive. This means that in a pair of black panthers and a regular jaguar, out of 4 kittens, most likely one will be black and the rest will be spotted. However, all 4 will carry the gene of the black panther further. And it's possible that in the next generations, out of 3 or 4 kittens of 2 regular jaguars, one will be black, like their grandfather or grandmother. This rule applies equally to black leopards. Just look, here 2 black panthers play with 2 large cats of regular coloration. They chase each other, fight, but don't attempt to inflict serious injuries. Rather, they test themselves and their opponents. Among them are females and males, so these jumps, exchanges of blows, and struggles may be just part of mating games. By the way, among panthers, there are other unusual color types. For example, white lions, golden tigers. If you would like to learn more about this, let us know in the comments, and we will be able to make a separate video about these animals. However, although the black jaguar doesn't differ from the ordinary one except in color, such a panther looks striking. A huge cat, which will tower over a person on its hind legs as if teleporting from the shadows, looks incredibly beautiful and frightening at the same time. The hunting scene of the black jaguar is an action scene from the world of wildlife that any Hollywood director would just envy. Which coloration of the jaguar do you like more? Let us know in the comment section. We would love to know your opinion. There was also the hypothesis that black panthers behave more aggressively, but there is no real evidence for this. Moreover, even an ordinary jaguar is an incredibly elusive creature that is threatened with extinction. No matter how successful this predator may be, the destruction of its native tropical forests inevitably leads to a reduction in the population. So there aren't so many black or ordinary jaguars. Let's hope that the situation will improve thanks to environmental protection organizations. Turtles often rely on their shell as the ultimate protection. But in the case of the jaguar, this trick doesn't work. Many cases have been captured on camera in which jaguars successfully attack turtles of various species, ranging from river reptiles with powerful shells to huge sea turtles. The panther's tactic is impressive. The turtle expects the predator to start prying it out of the shell, so it hides its head and limbs and relies on the armor. This is a bad idea. It simply doesn't know who it's dealing with. Yes, a jaguar can gnaw through the shell of a powerful adult turtle. Jaguars are outweighed by tigers and lions by 2 or even 2.5 times. But larger panthers are fortunate not to have to compete with their spotted distant relative. Jaguars are incredibly efficient predators with real superpowers. For example, the bite force of a lion fluctuates around 40 atmospheres. The jaguar's jaws are more than 3 times stronger than a lion's. The bite force of the spotted panther reaches 130 atmospheres. How is it that the jaguar is smaller than the lion but bites much harder? It's all about the habitat. The living conditions of lions and tigers are challenging, but the jaguar's life is much harsher. Paradoxically, the reason for this is the good, not bad, climate. Jaguars inhabit an area from Central America to northern Argentina, as well as swamps in the Mato Grosso forests. Most jaguars are found in the densest tropical forests of the Amazon basin. The climate here is so comfortable that there's simply an enormous abundance of living creatures. Consequently, there is very tough and fierce competition among them. Those who can survive here are capable of real feats. The jaguar has taken the top spot in the food chain among the local fauna, which speaks of it as an extra-class fighter. So, although it is third in size among the panthers in terms of skill, prowess, and power, it is in no way inferior to its distant relatives from Africa or Asia. Jaguars don't hesitate to attack the fiercest and most dangerous alligators and caimans in their habitat region, even when they have grown to large sizes. For example, here a panther defeated a reptile that was almost 1.5 times longer than the cat, and the cat's entire head would have fit inside the caiman's jaws. However, it is the jaguar who emerged victorious from the tense battle without sustaining any serious injuries. Quite often, jaguars attack black caimans. Adult individuals of this species are nearly invulnerable to other predators in their habitat range. But the jaguar doesn't care. It sees its target and goes for it, regardless of any risk. While ordinary caimans are considered relatively small reptiles that primarily prey on fish, then black caimans, in terms of size, can rival the largest crocodiles in the world. But the jaguar gladly attacks both young and agile and mature and huge individuals. Neither agility, nor camouflage, nor the intimidating power of their jaws frighten the panther. Of course, the reptile will always fiercely resist, and it deserves credit for this. An alligator can literally bite off a car bumper, stun its opponent with a terrifying tail strike. It also enjoys drowning its prey, as it can hold its breath for much longer than a jaguar. Moreover, these predatory reptiles can clamp onto their target with their jaws and start twisting their whole body, holding onto the bite. And that's how they tear limbs of large hoofed animals from their joints. They are also amplified by their sturdy scales and enormous size. For most animals in their habitat, a black caiman or alligator is a true monster. But for the jaguar, it's just lunch. Of course, the panther takes risks, and not every encounter with such dangerous enemies ends well for the cat. Sometimes it sustains horrible injuries, sometimes it becomes the prey for the enemy. But most battles end in favor of the jaguar, and it even manages to avoid serious harm. Pretty impressive, isn't it? Thousands of years ago, other panthers inhabited the New World, such as the American lion and the saber-toothed tiger. But now the jaguar remains the only panther in America. Nevertheless, it has to compete with its own kin, for example. Although jaguars are usually tolerant towards their own kind, they will fiercely fight for territory and female attention. Here, an aggressive jaguar attacked its kin for dominance over the territory, but it chose the wrong opponent. The second jaguar fought back powerfully and brought the aggressor down, forcing it to take a defensive position. Although the exchange of blows continued, it became clear that these panthers were worthy opponents. The brief exchange of blows turned into a ground battle. The jaguar, lying on its back, used its front paws to block the opponent's attempts to reach its throat. With its hind legs, it delivered powerful blows to the enemy face. In the end, the opponents disengaged from each other, but for the outsider, this duel should serve as a lesson. Jaguars aren't shy about using the most extreme hunting tactics they have. Here, a large and powerful cayman was hunting for fish when it turned into prey for the predator. The jaguar pounced on it, leaping from a height of about 24 feet over 7 meters. Descending upon the enemy from a height higher than the second floor, the panther delivered the blow not only with its weight, but also with the force from the acceleration during the fall. And the cat accumulated such striking force that it immediately stunned the opponent. The reptile could no longer resist effectively, so the panther completed the attack almost effortlessly, then dragged the cayman out of the water. Not a bad catch, right? Bystanders are simply shocked by such a bold attack, but for the jaguar, this is just business as usual. Which of today's cases in which jaguars demonstrated their strength impressed you the most? Let us know in the comment section underneath this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that we're able to see each other more often.